Sound check, sound check. Bars are good. Looks like I am live. Think I am. Yes, apparently I am. How is everybody? If you're just joining just now, please see the pinned comment. If you are part of the How's Parker crowd, please see my video called How's Parker, How the Kids, and please do not clog the feed with that same worn out question that I've already answered so I'm sick I'm sick to death of answering. So how is everybody? Carrie Turner, Nick Gabler, Rachel Lemon, how am I? I'm doing well. I'm sober again. Nathan's Club, Team Rocket. Well, apparently, the last live I did was about 3 a.m, and I'd just woken up about an hour earlier, and already I'm getting accused of falling off the wagon. I assure you, I don't know how else to prove to you other than to just stand here all times of day and early mornings. I am completely sober. I'm loving my sober October. Sober October for me is going to extend into sober November, then sober December, then sober 2021, all the way till sober on my deathbed. That's what I like. That's what I'm doing. I'm not interested in alcohol whatsoever. It doesn't interest me. I'm happy that there are things such as Alcoholics Anonymous for people who need that. That's great if it's there and that's what you need. If that's indeed what you need, but for me, I'm just not interested. So I titled today's talk live, whatever you want to call it, How Were You Raised? And the reason I want to talk about this is because how you are raised affects your decision making. How I was raised affected my decision making. And being raised in a lie is dangerous to people who take things seriously. Most people inherently trust their parents, especially when they're little. When they're little, mom says, Johnny, don't touch that stove because it will burn you. Some kids will say, okay, mom said don't touch it, it'll burn me. I don't want to get burned. Okay. Other kids are ultimately very, very curious, people like me, and they're going to say, okay, but I'm going to touch it anyway because I want to do it. And a lot of kids, that's what they do. They'll go touch it and they'll say, shit, that burned. That mom told me that would burn me. I think I'm going to trust mom because mom told me that would burn, and sure as shit, it burned me. So please tell me. Oh, thank God Miss Mary's here. Thank you so much, Miss Mary, for being here. Anyway, yeah, kids inherently trust their parents. Generally, parents love their kids, and generally, parents want what's best for their kids. And a lot of times, parents who are ignorant, including myself at one time, arguably still to this day, teach their kids the wrong things. And some kids, like I was when I was a child, I took that very, very seriously. I took the life lessons that I was taught very seriously. And where I'm getting around to is saying I'm going to be talking about religion. If you were here 3 days ago at 3 o'clock in the morning in my live called Thank God, I warned you it could be triggering. I'm not saying necessarily go away now because I don't want you to. But if you're anything like me, depending on your age, where you are in your life, religion or lack thereof, it can be a significant part of your life. And if you're anything like me, I consider myself a relatively normal person. I generally want to do good in the world. I take life lessons, or I took them when I was a child, very, very seriously. And I was taught it from birth about the religion that I was raised. Again, I'm not shitting on anybody's religion. I'm not shitting on religion in general. There are certain aspects about religion that I think are absolutely wonderful. Very, very, very positive, very fulfilling for human beings. However, religion can also be very, very dangerous. Some people, when they find religion at an older age, 40s, 50s, 70s, it heals them. It, it gives them purpose. It makes them happy. It makes them want to get out of bed each day. It makes them want to go be productive in the world and help as many fellow human beings as possible. And I would never, ever, ever shit on something like that. I think that is fantastic. That is a very, very positive side to religion. It's a hell of a lot better than alcohol. I can testify to that. However, religion can also be very dangerous. And again, I'm going to preface this. Hopefully, this will be the last time I say that today. I'm not here to crap on your religion. I'm really not. I'm here to make you think about what you were taught, why you were taught it regarding religion, what I was taught, and the decisions that I made based on what I was taught. Again, like most children, I loved my parents. I still do love my parents. I don't talk to my dad anymore, but hence, well, that's for a different topic. But I love my parents. I do. I think they were wrong in the way they taught me about religion. I was raised in the Baptist church, which is part of the Christian domain. I don't think they had ill will. I don't think they said, we'll just teach this little shit. We're going to teach him some religion and make him screw up his life. I don't think they had that at all. I think they absolutely wanted the best for me and my sisters. And I think the vast majority of parents absolutely want what is the very best for their children. Most of them do. Yes, there's crazy people out there that get involved in drugs. Yes, there are people that are just batshit fucking psycho, and they're going to harm their children intentionally because they get off on that shit. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about normal, regular people that just get up every day, go to work, take care of their family, pay their bills, want to raise their kids, enjoy retirement, repeat. Those are the ones I'm talking about. Religion can be extremely dangerous. For me in my life, as of right now, age 43, I can only speak on what I'm most familiar with, and that is the Christian faith. The most popular religions being Christianity, Hindu, Buddha, Islam, and then there's all kinds of subs underneath that, Catholicism, you name it. I was raised in the Baptist church, and I was taught certain things as a young child and even into my teen years. And then once I got married at the stupid young age of age 20, I'm not crapping on 20-year-olds. I've got a couple of them. I'm just saying when you're that age, yes, you are fully mature to make a lot of decisions, but you haven't lived enough life. You've not lived enough life to make certain other decisions. That involves mostly bringing new human beings into this world. Because when you bring a new human being into this world, there's no such thing as unringing that bell. Bringing a new human being into this world is as permanent as dying. Dying is about the most permanent thing I can think of. Besides bringing new humans. My children are here. I love my kids. I'd go to the end of the earth. I'd kill for my own children. But bringing children into this world can be very dangerous. And as much as parents want what is absolutely best for their kids, I encourage people, oops, Mr. Bug, you've got to get off of there. I encourage new parents, especially, or parents to be, maybe you are expecting, or maybe you thankfully are young and don't have any kids. Maybe you won't bring children in this life at all, and you can live a perfectly happy life doing that. I've talked about that many times. But if you are wanting to bring children into this, of course you want what's best for them. But think long and hard about the religion in which you were taught and the morals that your religion teaches you. My religion taught me that you're not supposed to get drunk. You're not supposed to get stoned. It doesn't use that word. You're not supposed to have sex before marriage. Lots of things you're not supposed to do. Lots of things you're supposed to do. I took that very seriously. And I'm not saying by any means, because I can already hear this right now. Oh, Caleb just thinks he's a god, thinks he's a saint, he's Mr. Perfect. No, by far, I'm not. I've screwed up with lots and lots and lots and lots of zeros on the end. Excuse me. In my case, what I'm talking about as far as children. Hey, Bentley, what are you doing, Bubba? Bringing children into this world being very permanent, and it is. There's no undoing it. It's like virginity. Once you've rung that bell, boom, it's over. You can't get it back. You can't go unvirgin yourself. Once you bring a child into this world, there's no takebacks. There is no going back. What you teach that child from birth all the way on is going to affect them, the way they process the world, the way they make decisions for themselves. And yes, I'm beating around the bush because this is really touchy for me to talk about, because I've made it very clear I'm not going to talk about my children, or I'm not going to talk about my children's families, even though there's lots and lots and lots I could easily get on here and just rattle on and on and on about. I'm not going to do it because that's called gossiping. However, at the same time, I have a right to talk about me personally and what happened to me. And I was taught that basically you're not supposed to have sex before marriage. Well, I did it. And I made 4 children to the person that I lost my virginity to. Come to find out, I was not compatible with that person, as many of you probably already know. That's not, I don't want too much read into that, but I have a right to talk about what I did, my choices. As far as sex before marriage, if you plan on getting married, I highly encourage you to have sex. Be very careful, be very selective, use protection to the best that's available to you, and be extremely careful and know the consequences, because everybody knows what usually happens when you have sex, or the only way human beings come about. Babies are made that way. So be very, very careful. But my God, test drive a little bit. You don't know what you like. Test drive a few cars before you decide to just go ahead. Well, my religion told me I slept with her, so I guess I got to marry her. That is a recipe for absolutely fucking disaster. I made decisions on the rest of my life at age 20 due to what I was taught in religion when I was younger. And people can call me bullshit. I'm always going to get my haters. I totally get that. But this is just where I took that very seriously. I made my mistakes. I did what the Bible told me not to, and I tried my best to make it right. And it didn't work out like I'd planned. I've got 4 beautiful children. I wouldn't trade them for anything. They are my purpose for being here. But there is a way. I wished I would have not been taught religion at a young age, personally. I taught my children when they were very young about my religion because that's what we're supposed to do. I didn't want to burn in hell. I certainly don't want then or now my children to burn in hell. So why wouldn't I be the responsible adult, the responsible father, and teach my children at that age about what I know to be true, or at least my perception of truth. The truth is, nobody knows which God is which, even if there is one. And I'm not going to get into the simpleton argument of, well, just pick up that good book, Caleb. Well, I've picked it up lots of times. There's a lot of scary shit in there. I've read it cover to cover several times. Not start to finish, but throughout the years, I've read it lots of times. And there are good parts in the Christian Bible, very good parts. And I've talked about that many times. The borrower is slave to the lender. Don't borrow money. That's something I still tell my kids. I pound in their heads every time I get a chance, which now that they're big, I don't see them nearly as often. But when I do, if it comes up, I say, if they ask me, Dad, should I go borrow to get this or that? No, no. Remember your Christian roots and remember what the Bible said about that. That part was actually true. The borrower is slave to the lender. It's absolutely true. But the thing about, I talked about burning yourself. Mom told you when you're little, don't touch that hot stove because you'll burn yourself. And most of us have all burned ourselves to some degree or another. I've been a field mechanic for 25 years. I've burned myself lots and lots of times. Most people don't like getting burned. I don't know a single person that likes getting burned. So what better way if you wanted to spread the word of God and keep everybody in your religion and keep those tithes coming than to scare the holy shit out of them by eternal damnation and being burned alive for the rest of your life with absolutely no end whatsoever. That scared me to death. Scared me to death. And that is not what I want for my children, like at all. So what did I do? I taught my children the same thing. You've got to be religious. I got to have you in the church. And then reality set in. Caleb, if you would just pray enough, if you just go to church enough, if you'll just find that personal relationship with God, and if you'll just accept the Lord Jesus Christ into your heart as your Savior, you'll be saved. Because Jesus was nailed to that cross to save you, Caleb. You don't want to burn in hell, do you? No, you don't want to burn in hell. Do you want your children to burn in hell? No. Well, then you've got to do these steps. If you don't do these magic steps, you're going to burn in hell. And I was told, when you've got problems, go to God. Turn to God. Pray to God. I did all that. Like, I'm not going to just sit here and make a whole monologue about how often I prayed in my room, not out on the street corners where like the hypocrites do. Not my words, that's the Holy Bible's words. Whenever they were asked, how do you pray? And Jesus said, go into your closet where nobody can see you, where only my Father can see you. And if you're praying like that, man, yeah, that's the only way to pray. That's as far as these televangelists, these preachers you see on TV, bleh, oh my God, run away from them. Most of them are all warmongers anyways. Never met a war or a politician on one side or the other they didn't support. Anyway, not to get off topic, but you've got to be very, very careful about teaching your kids about religion. Again, as I started this off, religion can be a wonderful, wonderful self-fulfilling tool. It can get you off drugs if that's what works for you. It can get you off alcohol, which is a drug. It can get you off the bad things that harm your life and actually harm your spirit. Being not an atheist but agnostic, I tend to think that I probably do have a spirit, some kind of something that I can't explain. And I got this question, I've had this several times, but I got this question after my last live about, thank God, being agnostic. And, people say, well, I understand why you're atheist. I'm like, whoa, no, I'm not atheist. I have atheist friends, but I'm not atheist because the way I see it, atheists declare that there is no God. I don't do that at all. I don't declare there is a God anymore. I declare there isn't. I just don't know. I've not seen the proof. Because again, I'm not going to go into details and pat myself on the back on how much I prayed and, give a scale of 1 to 10, how, my performance of prayer. I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying, whether you want to believe me or not, I believe that I tried absolutely as hard as I could for many years to pray for these problems that I was having in my life to go away, and they did not. They only got worse. Have another kid, they said. It'll be good, they said. Save your marriage. God hates divorce. Well, I guess he's just going to hate me because I'm glad I got divorced. I'm glad I'm not in that anymore. because we weren't compatible. We just weren't. And that's just a fact. And again, it's not me talking shit because, again, I'm not a gossiper and I'm not going to talk like that, but it's just a fact. We're obviously not compatible. And so I encourage young people in particular, if you've got babies on the way or young babies, of course, there's age appropriate things, but the thing you don't do, Bentley, don't lie to your kids. I mean, little tiny things about, sex and that, find age appropriate things. But like, even like, say, with Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and Tooth Fairy and all that crap, that was fun. I'm not saying that's bad to teach your kids from birth and have fun. I remember the magic of Santa Claus. Santa Claus was exciting and fun, and it sort of kind of gave me an incentive to be good throughout the year. So I would get more presents and make a list and let him check it twice. But the thing about Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and etc., the parents start off teaching the kids that. They raise them up, they have a lot of fun, because it's fun. There's nothing wrong with it. And then when you come of age, puberty roughly, I think I was 11 or 12 when I started figuring it out. I looked around, all my peers, my friends, they're all basically figuring it out. And okay, it was a load of crap. So and so's a little slow. He still believes. So don't say anything to him or her. Let them figure it out on their own. Let them have just one more year of believing. But that's one thing, because the parents know it's a lie, but it's friendly. It's harmless. It's just having fun. And when they come of age, say, oh, yeah, gig's up. You got us. We just did that because it was fun. It let you believe. And we got little videos of Johnny and little Mary and just doing all these cute, cute little things and putting on their little Santa hats. And they're so excited and they unwrap their presents. And there's nothing in the world wrong with that. Because once they came of age, you kind of like, yeah, like you got a high five from your own kid. Okay, mom, dad, that was cool. That was fun. It's not real, but thanks. This is going to upset some people, but the same thing goes for religion. Be careful raising those kids on religion because they're little sponges. I was a little sponge. Arguably, I'm still a little sponge. I find interesting little things. I observe the world in my own capacity that I'm able to, and I want to explore. Hell, I'm still looking for a sailboat. I can't wait to get my sailboat and go sailing. That's how curious I am. The thing about it is, I made decisions in my life as far as producing more human beings in this world based on a lie. And it's not that I'm mad at my parents for teaching me that. I'm not. They didn't know. They wanted what was best for me, so they taught the best that they were taught. And it just turned out it was a load of crap. After our first date on that one, I should have just not just acknowledged, but acted upon the knowledge that I gained and moved on to somebody else. Maybe I would have never had children at all. Maybe I would have found somebody and had a lot more children. Maybe I'd still be married to this day. Maybe I'd even still be religious. I don't know. But that's not what happened. And I've taught, again, when my kids were little, when I was still religious, I taught my children that. But I started to wake up and realize this whole prayer thing's not working out for us. And we just keep getting the shaft over and over and over. And that's when I dug really, really deep and just figured it out that what I was taught was not true. It wasn't taught to me maliciously. I'm not blaming my parents for that, but it simply was not true. Maybe there is a hell, but no one's ever seen it and lived to tell about it. It just hadn't happened. Maybe there are records of historical figures that said they went and saw it, came back, but nobody alive, that's not actually happened. So basically what I'm saying is be very, very careful. There's nothing wrong with religion. Just be very careful when you're teaching your children what is morally correct. Most people, I think, inherently don't want to be bad. They want to generally do good. Some are more ambitious than others. Some are lazier than others. Everybody, it's a fact, everybody's going to make mistakes, but that doesn't mean just because what you were taught as a child is what that child needs to hear. Maybe I would have made different decisions. Maybe the pain and suffering that my children went through. Yes, I know life's hard. I totally fucking get that. But maybe it didn't have to be quite that hard. It didn't have to be that bad where the entire United States is set up around a crooked family court that screws over parents because they're always talking about one major thing. They cloak it in the best interest of the children, but what they're really talking about is money. The vast majority of judges and lawyers, that's what they want to. They want to see the money. Lawyers, bless their hearts, some of them are great, some are scumbags, but not to this day. Not one lawyer that I know accepts prayer as a payment for services rendered. Not one. They accept money. So their client either has some money or no money or somewhere in between. Just, maybe has a little bit of money. Where is that money going to go? How much is going to go to court costs? How much is that money going to go to the lawyers? How much is that money is going to go through the state of Texas? In my case, the douchebag Attorney General Ken Paxton, who is so close to getting arrested, by the way. I just want to be on the record. He is this close to getting arrested. He's so fucked. And I cannot wait till he's in prison. Maybe that's the devil in me talking. I don't know. Maybe I should have stayed in Sunday school and not had those evil thoughts that son of a bitch be put in prison. But Ken Paxton's never had a problem putting people in jail. Not one time. His policies put lots of people in jail. So anyway, how y'all doing? How is everybody? You need to ask yourself, what did you do to alienate your former wife so badly? I don't think I did alienate anybody. Lee D. Paxton for prison. Absolutely. I'm doing good, Ashley J. Williams. I'm doing good too. I got some things off my chest. I kind of wanted to talk about this the other day, but I get to rambling, and once I've done my little monologue, it's always nice to talk to people. So I didn't get around to this. Aaron Schneider, hi Caleb, I'm here again. Freddie Fazbrad, hi Caleb. Beach Outdoors, I'm good. I got my full build cabin video up. It took so long. Oh, okay. You built a cabin? Cool. Obscured. Hello, Mr. Caleb. Hello, Mr. Obscured or Miss Obscured. Hey, Leverett, how are you tonight? Hang on. Dadgummit, slow down. How are you tonight? Still not replied to my email about modding. Caleb S. I'm getting to it. I just haven't got around to at the moment. I've added a couple more and it's pretty good, but I'll get there. Sean TV, I hope you're doing well. I'm trying. Well, good. Me too. I'm staying sober. That's the best thing I can do. How's the weather like? It's finally cooling off. Light Wolf Production is finally cooling off. It got down to, it was pretty chilly. I had to put on a couple extra layers the other morning for my morning mile walk. Picker Rose, you're okay. You need to vent. Yeah, I always need to vent. I always got to get some things off my chest. One Punch Aim, please take care about COVID-19. That virus is real. Please take care. Well, it may be, but it's just me on 7 acres, and there's probably not a human being within 300 yards of me, so I think I'm okay. I'm not going to put on a mask if that's what you're getting at. Tyler McDougall, see the pinned comment. Thank you very much. Please take care. Okay, I already saw that. How long were you not sober? Snow Shadow. I've talked about this in one of my lives about, 2 or 3 weeks ago. The short story is I pretty much in the last 5 years used alcohol to go to sleep just about every night. Tried to quit several times, but was not successful. Finally, this one, I said, screw this, and I'm done. And so, Wicca, delete my message if you like me. I'm not sure if that means Harpots Caleb. What amazes me about you is your resilience. You've had some falls, but you bounce back, and we fall only to pick ourselves up. Well, thank you, Harp. I don't know what else to do. We have to get up. 33 years sober here. Congrats, Linda Land. Fantastic. I hope the next 33 years is that's what I want for me. Have you ever tried melatonin to go to sleep? Yes, actually I did. After I used marijuana for about a week to get through the rough part of the DTs, the night sweats, and the nightmares, I used melatonin a little bit. I mean, it doesn't do a lot for me, but now I don't need anything. I try to eat well, and I get my exercise. I burn off proper number of calories with my exercise, and when it's time to go to sleep, it usually about 9 times out of 10, within 5 minutes, I am asleep. Call me Grunt. Are you outside? I most certainly am. Oh, there's usually a little light right here, but I don't see it tonight. That or the trees got it covered up, or I'm positioned wrong. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. That's why I can hear. I don't know if I think y'all can hear the crickets. I've listened to a couple of my videos afterwards, and yeah, there's nice crickets and nice little froggies. Oops. Tell you the truth. See, Ashley J. Williams, tell you the truth about some things in the world that not a lot of people look at. Okay, what's that? Jessica Howell, hey, from East Texas. Hi, Jessica. I'm in East Texas myself. Team Rocket, don't use drugs, kids. Generally, that's a good rule. Every now and then, if you want to trip on some shrooms, be careful how you do it. But you'll never hear me raise hell. You'll smoke a blunt here and there. That's your thing. Uh, I obviously highly discourage the alcohol because it is very addictive and it's awful for your liver. Kevin A. Got this in my recommended. Not disappointed. Very interested I am. Ooh, almost sounds like Yoda. We got a Yoda fan there. Linda Land, one day at a time. Hi from Call Me Grunt. Weed and melatonin knocks me out from Aaron Save Hearn. That's pretty typical. A lot of people do that. Allison, hi Caleb. I think you're an amazing dad. I want to be more like you, standing up for myself more. Okay, well, good for you. Well, thank you, Allison. Stand up for yourself. I encourage everybody to stand up for themselves. Don't let these bullies get away with this shit. Oh God, the memories. Oops. Madeline, Caleb is with the force. Ethan, I was raised by the belt. Ethan, I was too, and I obviously do not encourage parents to beat the shit out of their kids with belts. And I get a lot of hate mail for this, but if you say that I was spanked and I've turned out just fine, I'm spanking my kids. Well, no, you didn't turn out fine. If you're still hitting your kids with a belt, being 150, 200 pounds, and your child is 30 pounds, if you're that shitty of a parent that you can't convince your child to behave in a certain way, that your only resort is to get the belt, you're a shitty parent and you're an asshole and you did not turn out fine. And Ethan, I wasn't talking to you directly. I'm just saying necessarily, but Caleb Fett a job from London. It doesn't see. Okay, Mary, I can't block. Just time out. I'll have to look at that. That might be on my end. Wicca. Light Wolf Productions. I was never raised by belt. I hate the idea of physical discipline. I was raised with the belt. I did not turn out fine. Arguably, maybe now, but I'm right there with you. Please don't hit your kids. They're tiny. They're little bitty, and they're not hard to control. I'll never forget. I got into an argument one time with a guy about, well, I have to spank my kids because He's only 3 years old or 4 years old and he doesn't listen. He's got ADD and I've got him on medication. I'm like, oh my God, are you listening to yourself? Your child has a disability and your your solution is to beat the shit out of him. Yeah, okay. Beat the disabled child. You go there. Parent of the Year award for you, dude. Is it cold, Caleb? And why are you in the middle of nowhere? Team Rocket. And it's not cold yet. It's been cooler. It's a little warmer today. Had a nice rain, but I like being in the middle of nowhere. I'm Believe it or not, I don't generally like being around a lot of people. I like talking to people. I just don't like being around big crowds. I don't like being around crowded neighborhoods. Lee D, my brother passed from the DT. Stay strong. Ooh, gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. It sucks. They're hard. Lee Baker, how do you stop drinking? You just make up your mind and say, I'm not doing this anymore. Again, I've talked about that. I forget what I named it, but about a week now, a couple weeks ago, I've talked about it in one of my lives. I went into a lot more detail. I think it's great that you do the stuff like this from WRLD World. Jacob Samuel, can you answer my question, please? Jacob, let me see. I can scroll up a little bit. Can't go too far because I'll lose where I'm at. Jacob Samuel, can you answer my question? Dude, you're just going to have to repost it because I can't go that far back. I'm sorry. Aaron Schneider, Caleb, exclamation points. What? What did I do now? It's almost winter. Yes, it is. Does Caleb ever check his email? Cart sold 467. Yes, I do. I don't respond to all of them, but I check. And obviously, I miss some of them, but yeah, I check my email. I don't. It's not like a daily thing I do, but at least I'd say twice a week I check email. I'm not one of those people that has a clear inbox. I've got like 100,000 emails, and I don't ever delete anything or very seldom. It's kind of embarrassing. A little crowded in there. Ethan says, well, I recently found your story in my recommendations list. You're a good man. Just saw you were live. Thought I'd pop by and say hello. Keep being a good man. Well, thanks, Ethan. I appreciate that. I really do. Thanks for watching my videos. Emails are memories, Caleb. Yeah, they are. That's as much as I talk shit about Facebook and their regulations, I have to admit I do like Facebook memories. One thing in particular I like about Facebook memories is when something pops up that I posted like 8 years ago, and all my kids are like real little. And I go through there and I'm looking at all the people that liked it and all the comments. And it's interesting to me to watch all the people that I'm no longer friends with. And usually it's because they got tired of me, I would assume. Here lately, I've been deleting a lot of people that I just get so sick of seeing, so I delete them. But I like the memories. That's why I did what I did with my kids and built so many memories. EXE Music, I was raised with no restrictions, but it was to teach me that no one is going to be there when I'm older. Of course, I still was fed and the obvious, lol, but I raised my own money and cleaned my own messes. Okay, that's basically what I did my best to do with my kids. After I woke up and I quit hitting my kids, and yes, I did do it a little bit, and I've talked about that. I'm not going to go into it, but it was awful that I did it. I just raised my kids the best I could to where they made their own decisions, they made their own mistakes. I would show them how I handled making a similar mistake. But basically, now that they're big, they have to deal with their own mistakes. We all have to. Everybody has to learn that. And I have to admit that kicking the old birds out of the net, the babies out of the nest, that's been really challenging for me. That was really hard. Lee Baker, from a family of alcoholics, very addictive personalities. I want nothing but a night when I'm lonely. I can't keep from it. I love you, man. Watched you for years. again, I'm not going to fuss at somebody that occasionally goes out and or has a drink here, or even really occasionally goes out and gets completely shit faced. As long as you're not driving anywhere, I would fuss at anybody. My point is, if you're using it to go to sleep or using it as a way to get rid of depression, alcohol is the worst thing that I know of. Obviously, there are other more dangerous drugs. Heroin, I've never done. Lots of drugs that I've never done that are just as, if not more dangerous than alcohol. But as a firsthand testimony, I can tell you, using alcohol to suppress depression and to go to sleep is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea because it is extremely addicting. Caleb S., for all the people who are saying that Caleb is hiding something, this is what he is hiding. He is hiding how good of a parent he was. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not patting myself on the back, but I'm not sure what that means. I'm not trying to hide anything about my parenting. Anthony Lopez, a trip down memory lanes. I hope that's in the past for you, Anthony. All those drunken nights in the past. Freddie Fazbread, what do you do when you're angry at someone? Hope that's not too personal. No, that's not too personal. Typically, and it depends on who it is, I get quiet. Again, depends on who it is. If I care to resolve it, if I get angry at just a average drive-by motorist, then I just, I cuss in my car and drive off. But if it's like hypothetically one of the kids or a friend, then I'll usually just get quiet and talk it out. Find out why that person is upset or why I'm upset. Maybe they are willing to say they're sorry and apologize, and maybe they're not. And the main thing is, that's one thing that I've always done. I say always, in the post-divorce years, since 2012, for the last 8 years of my dating life, anybody that I potentially could have got involved with seriously, one of the very first questions I ever ask is, how do you resolve conflict? Do you chunk cell phones and remote controls across the room and yell, cuss, scream, raise hell, punch, kick, scratch, and the rest? Or what do you do? And if I get any inclination they do anything like that to resolve conflict, when they get pissed off or upset or sad, turn around and walk away. And I would go as far to say, as far as dating young people, old people, it doesn't matter. If you're dating, looking for a potential mate, and we all know how it is in the beginning, everybody's putting on their best show, wanting to come across the best you possibly can to that person, especially if you like them. But wait till before you make a severe commitment, like, I don't know, marriage, have children with that person. Make sure you've go through a rocky time, have a few disagreements where there's no real out, like you've pretty much committed in the relationship at this point, and to go out would mean ending it, and see how that person reacts. And if they start that cussing and screaming and hitting and throwing bullshit even once, you turn around, you walk away, period, end of story. If some chick hits me because we have a disagreement, that is your first and last and only chance you'll ever get. Turn around and walk away, and you never, ever give that person the opportunity to make it up, because there's no such thing as, well, I'm sorry, I got that remote and bashed you over the head with it and slapped the shit out of you. That doesn't cut it. That is pure bullshit. If that's how they resolve conflict, particularly that soon in the relationship, get your ass out of there no matter what. And don't talk to the bitch ever again. I mean, at all. Perhaps maybe you could be friends depending on what you had in common, but as far as being together, nope. You get one chance and one chance only. You ever hit me? I've even told my kids that. You don't put up, boys. Never, ever put up with someone hitting you. Ever. London, same. Do not put up with that violence. When you're dating, if they can't control their emotions any better than that, if they get so angry that they have to resort to hitting you to get your attention, they're a shitty communicator, and that is going to be the rest of your relationship. And it's going to go from small hits to big hits to punches. I promise you. If they've had such a bad day and they apologize, tough shit. Learn with somebody else, because you're not going to learn it on me. I'm way behind. Oops. Wicca Rose, smash that like. Oh, thank you, Wicca. One of my own moderators gave me sent $5. Bless your heart. Carrie Turner, truth. Wayne Pauling, hi. Jessica Howell, exactly. Tay Taylor, oh, hello. Freddie Fazbread, very wise. Kendall C, no regrets. Alex Hernandez, when can we link? I'm not sure what that means. Boo Tedesco, of course. Boring Tea, hello, how are you, Caleb? I'm doing well, I'm sober. Light Wolf Productions, I used to smoke. Haven't touched cigarettes since December of last year. Fantastic. That is very hard to do. I've done that. I never was a heavy smoker, but every time I got married, my wives smoked. So I kind of smoked. And once they left, they didn't take those damn cigarettes with them. I had to quit that myself. And it's tough. It's really, really, really tough. So good for you. The real Nina Ross 46. Hey, Mr. Caleb, I'm great. Always great to see you, my friend. Greatest dad hashtag. Thank you. Team Rocket, I don't even like to smoke and stuff. It's like boring, and I would do drinking only at parties sometimes. Again, teenagers, kind of a rite of passage thing, particularly in college. As long as you're not driving drunk, you always get a designated driver or crash where you're at. If you're just doing it occasionally, I'm not going to fuss at anybody for that. I'd rather you not. There's better ways to enjoy yourself, but you know, most kids do it. It's just a fact. And anyway, Extreme Codex. As an Arabian from the Middle East, I was raised to follow, stick it. I assume that means strict rules. If I don't follow, I would get beat so bad I would barely stand. My day was like, I assume that means dad. My dad was like, quote, take care of the camel pointed by my father. Take care of the camel pointed by my father. I do not endorse that sort of, regardless of where you're, you said you're an Arabian from the Middle East, regardless of where you're from. Not beating your children is universally my go-to. Doesn't matter what color your skin is, what kind of religion or lack thereof that you preach in your family. I highly encourage, please don't beat the shit out of your kids. There's a reason a lot of religions teach you to teach your children at a young age, is because the children are little sponges, and the way they're raised is usually how they're going to raise their own kids. Religions, some anyways, I hate to use that big blanket, but a lot of religion's about control. It just is. They want the tithes, they want the numbers, and people like to be in the most, generally, a lot of people like to be in the most popular religion. That's why these mega churches exist. They start big and they get bigger and bigger, and then it's like really cool to go to that big mega church because Pastor so-and-so, now he's on the television, and you're kind of hot shit if you join that church. And that's why they all say, teach your children from birth to be this religion, be this way. Spare the rod, spoil the child. If there's any fucking phrase out of the goddamn Bible I hate more than all phrases out of the Bible, it's that one. Spare the rod, spoil the child. My ass. That is justification for being a prick. That is justification for being a lazy, lazy parent. That means you are too fucking busy in your life to shut down whatever it is you're doing in your life you have to ignore that child. You expect to, I say, doom, boom, immediately. And if they don't do it, well, I don't have time to shut down. I've got bills and I got busy at work and I've got this and I'm an angry son of a bitch. And they yank the belt off and just beat the shit out of them. Sure, it teaches them. Yeah, well, I don't want to get my ass beat. Guess I'll do what mom or dad says, fucking dick. And, it just teaches them the hard way to learn out of fear, behave out of fear. That's what most religions are. Accept Jesus into your heart, because if you don't, we're going to strike the fear of God in you, and you're going to burn in hell, and nobody wants to burn in hell. So it's fear. Well, oh my God. Okay, I'll do the prayer. I'll do the prayer. Okay, Daddy, I'll do what you say. I don't care how immoral. Okay, Dad, sorry. Just please don't beat me. Please don't beat the shit out of me more, Dad, please. And that's how you get them to obey versus, daughter of mine, beautiful son of mine, you are apparently having some problems. Let me finish. Give me 2 seconds. Finish up what I'm doing. Okay, fine. Okay, 5-year-old of mine. Talk to him on a 5-year-old level. Okay, 14-year-old of mine. I'm going to talk to you on a 14-year-old level. What is bothering you, son? What is bothering you, sweet daughter of mine? Why are you behaving this way? Or why are you choosing not to do your homework or the chores that we need done around here? Because the chores don't do themselves. And, I'm the mom or I'm the dad, and I'm happy to do these for you. I'm happy to teach you, but it can be fun. We can figure out a way to do it. But, leaving your dirty laundry everywhere and the food out, that brings cockroaches and it brings illness and disease. And I don't want you to get sick. I want you to be healthy. And so I'm going to teach you to fold your laundry. I'm going to teach you to be proactive in, cooking dinner, and let's just all chip in and we'll tell stories and even dance in the kitchen while we cook and have cleanup. There's always a better way to teach your children than to scare the hell out of them by beating the shit out of them. EXE music, I used to get mad at games, but never cuss. Then I realized that doing that isn't solving shit and making people around me irritated. And the other person who won is proud of themselves, and I should. What, cuss? Nothing wrong with cussing. I mean, my kids are for years and years, even when they're little, they've always known they can say every word in the book around me. I mean, I would teach them, obviously. Some people get their feelings hurt, like your teachers or whatever, in public, so certain words you don't use just for your own good. You're just going to avoid those certain weird, awkward situations if you don't. But when they're around me, I've always taught my kids there's no such thing as a bad word. There's bad intentions. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. That's a threat. And it's cussing. But holy shit, Dad. I love what you did to the new car. That's cool. I don't care if my kid is 8 years old. Hey, fucking hey, Dad, that's awesome. That talking like that, as long as they're happy, no such thing as a bad word. Only bad intentions, threats. Oh, Wolf Gamer, hey, what's up? I'm good. Kindle C, like sinners in the hands of an angry God stuff got me on right there. Not sure what that means. Gallant Blade, I've been an atheist agnostic my entire life. Never grew up around a religion. Last year, I almost considered converting to something because I was afraid of what would happen to me after I die. That's a perfectly logical concern. I'm concerned with what happens to me after I die. But what do I do in the present moment? Just depends on which pastor you ask, or which rabbi you ask, or which priest I ask, or which I don't know what you call the heads of all the major religions, but depends on which head of which religion you ask what you're supposed to do to make sure you're in good graces in the afterlife. And I don't know. That's why my default about what happens to me when I die, I first of all, I accept the fact that once I die, that's it. It's lights out. I accept that could be a possibility. I think I misspoke. It's not a fact. Fact is, we're all going to die. What's the unknown is what happens when we die. Something, that's it. It's over. And that may be the case. If it's over, that means it's not good or bad. It's just painless nothing. If there is a soul, and if I have a soul, and if everybody here in the world has souls, um, I would assume most people are religious because they want to be in good graces with gods, goddesses, God, the creator, whatever, in the afterlife. I certainly do. If there is some kind of creator, I would like to be in the good graces of such a powerful, omnipotent being. I just don't know how to get there. And I know what the Christian Bible says, particularly the Baptist version. I know what that says, accept the Lord Jesus Christ in your heart. And that's pretty much it. Pretty cut and dry, pretty simple. Other religions have different um sayings and different prayers, different rituals you're supposed to do. Pour water over your head, get dunked in the water. It all varies a little bit, but I don't know anybody that would just say, if there is an afterlife, I want to go the most torturous place possible because I want to torture myself. I don't know anybody that wants to do that. Team Rocket Caleb, do you think a parent, is it okay that you treat girls better than boys? Not, I would say better. I treated mine a little bit different. London being the baby, having three older brothers, I most certainly treated her slightly different, but I can't love any one child more or less than the other. That, for me, that's impossible. I've always joked with my kids ever since they were real little, that London is my favorite human being, and her turd brothers know it. I'm sort of joking, but I'm sort of serious. I've told that to them their whole lives, and now it's kind of a joke. You did, Dad. You kind of did like baby the shit out of London. I said, like, I had to. She had you three little shitheads always picking on her. I had to defend her. She was little. Not only was she physically smaller because she is a female, but she was younger. She's the baby. I had to treat her slightly different. And of course, you've got to treat little girls and little boys differently. That's a given. There's nothing sexist at all, in my opinion, about treating daughters and sons slightly different, as long as it's with love. You treat them age appropriately and gender appropriately. Jessica Howell, people, if you don't like the conversation, then leave. Everyone has a right to speak their mind, thoughts, and beliefs. Well said. I knew good and well when I came into this, there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to open their minds to. It's blasphemous to a lot of people what I'm saying. I get it. And I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm trying to get you to think. And there's nothing wrong with thinking. And if you think that your religion requires you not to think, then you've definitely got a problem. You really ought to question what you're being taught. Where are you from? It's dark. Well, yes, I'm outside. It is dark. I like it out here. Love all your kids equally. That's it. Love them equally. It's okay to treat them differently in certain aspects, depending on their age, depending on the topic at hand, depending on the severity. But you treat them all equally with love, and you just kind of, being a parent is just a flow thing. There is no really good, right, correct guide. You just have to have some, the way I see it, you have some overall barriers. Don't hit your kids. Love them with all your heart. Be prepared to die for them if necessary. And beyond that, just be there for them. And you'll figure it out. It's a trip. I'll tell you that. It was a trip. Tyler, Tyler Gates, my name is no good. Some I'm getting raised in like it's 80s. I don't know what that means, Tyler. Fian Zhang. Okay, buddy, who is this? Casey Haley. Hey, dude, I've got my 13-year-old boy with me, and he's happy. He's a happy boy. We have fun. He does goofy stuff, but he learns. My ex took his wee sis bro down to England, and now so strict. Her family tell her to. Not quite sure what you mean there. Call me Grunt. I'm in Missouri. Well, I'm in Texas. Pyong Zhang, my mom be like, boy, you getting the whip. I hate to say it, dude, but your mom's wrong. She's wrong to do that. That's a lazy person's option to beat the hell out of somebody, to get their attention, to get them to do what you want to do. And I'm not trying to piss you off. That's just my opinion. If maybe your mom disagrees with me, obviously, if she wants to email me and tell me about it, maybe we could have a discussion about it. But I venture to say I'm about 99.999% sure nobody will ever convince me that it's okay to hit a child as a form of discipline to get them to do what you want them to do. Now, that being said, I've talked about this before. There are some extremists that would say, okay, for example, if my kids are still, well, let's say hypothetically, either my kids are still small or God forbid I become a grandparent anytime soon. My little 3-year-old granddaughter, we're doing something, I'm watching her, and for whatever reason, she just decides, boom, she just has to haul ass to go get the little lizard out in the middle of the highway. I have no problem running as fast as you can, pick them up, pop them on the butt, make a big deal about how dangerous that is. A little pop on the butt is not spanking. And I struggled with that a little bit when I first got into nonviolent parenting. A lot of my friends who are extreme nonviolenters, they disagree with me on that. And we'll just have to agree to disagree. A slight pop on the butt, even slightly occasionally raising your voice to get your attention, like with my kids when they're all little, I tried my best. I didn't just yell. I lost my shit a few times. I'd say less than 10. I raised my voice many times, not, you stupid kids. It was, hey, you little turds, you're being really obnoxious and I got to get your attention. Oh, now that I have your attention, kiddies, come here. Let's talk about something. So, raising your voice and yelling, there's a difference. Popping someone on the butt and pulling out a stick or having them go get a fucking switch off the willow tree or pulling your belt out and just beating the piss out of them with the snot and shit spit coming out of your own mouth onto your child because you're angry and pissed and you're trying to teach them a lesson. That's wrong. I don't care who you are. You'll never convince me otherwise. My dad is hard on me, I see, but my name is okay. My name is no good, some bitch, according to him. Tyler, I just don't know what that means. My dad is hard on me. I can see why, but my name is no good, some bitch, according to him. Your name is no good. Tyler is a perfectly fine name. There's nothing wrong with the name Tyler. Freddie Brazil, I'll leave. See you, Caleb. Okay, take care, Freddie. Jessica Howell, I have to go, but just so you know, you have my support. Godspeed and love with each and every one of you. Okay, thank you, Jessica. Will you take care? Fiang Zhang, wait, my mom does the same thing. Light Wolf Productions, all beating someone does is just instate a mentality of fear into their kids. A kid isn't going to be open with you because they fear, oh God, they'll beat me if I don't, if they see that I did something wrong. Yeah, good luck with you're exactly correct. I agree with you. For the beaters out there, good luck getting your kid to come to you if you've beat the shit out of them their whole entire life for even the smallest of things. They're not going to open up to you when they really need to. When like life hits them like a freight train. When they get older, you're going to be the last person they want to come to you because they know you're going to disapprove. They know you're not going to agree. They know you're going to have this. Maybe you're not big enough to hit them anymore, but you're going to give them that disdain and make them feel guilty. Yeah, good luck with that. Why is it dark there? Where are you from? Yes, I'm outside. It's past dark. It's like 9:06 p.m. here. I am outside. Casey Haley. They can't do anything, Caleb. They used to be happy, but now my ex raises them the way she was raised because her family beside her. But my ex had a horrible childhood. That's what I mean, bro. Well, Yeah, I see what you mean, and that gets back to that then that cycle. Where do you obviously you can't go be a child again, can you? So the best you can do as a parent, and that's the best I can do. I can't just go be a teenager anymore again and repeat and start over. It's really permanent. Having kids is very, very permanent. The best I can do is teach my children. Look, kids, Parker and Blaine, the two that I hit a few times that I regret. I know I spanked you a few times and I can't unspank you. The best I can do is say, I fucked up. I should not have hit you. And I've apologized to both of them many times and encourage them when or if they decide to have children, please don't at least consider not hitting your children. Wicker Rose, okay, she's giving rolls. Kai Glendenning, yo, what's up? I'm enjoying my sobriety. Kendall C, yeah, I wouldn't violence encourage your kids to keep the truth from you out of fear. Xiang Zhang, my mom is nice, but my dad whoops my ass. Um, your dad's just wrong, dude. He's and it's okay to. I don't know how old you are or what your case is, but it's okay to not agree with. It's okay for you to defend yourself the best you can. That's gonna probably make some people upset, but oh well. Off tune. Hello, sir. Tyler Gates. He calls me no good son of a bitch. I'm tired of we farmers. I did 50 hours straight in the tractor. I'm super tired. Oh, okay. I see, Tyler. Well, I'm sorry he treats you like that. But that's entirely not true. I've been called lots and lots of names, and you'll just have to learn that you do have worth. You are a good person, and you most certainly can be, and you've probably made mistakes like the rest of us. The thing is, don't repeat them as often as possible. And when you've had enough, depending on how old you are, when you get old enough, get out of there, man. Money's nothing. Yes, I get it. You got to have it, but get out of there as soon as possible. Get away from that shit. I would rather live in a ditch and not be have my ass kicked and beat all the time than have all the money in the world and live miserably with somebody just because they have money and they yell at me and cuss at me and beat the shit out of me. I'm just not doing it. Off tune. I love the way Parker stood up for himself about 7 years ago. I remember watching it, but that was a long time ago. Light Wolf Productions. I remember my stepmom asked my dad if she could spank me. Whoa. I remember my stepmom asked my dad if she could spank me and my sibling. My dad consulted my mom and she said absolutely not. And my dad said, that's what I thought. My dad never beat either of us. Nice. Good for both of your parents. Perhaps stepmom needs a little help. Maybe stepmom could get something out of watching this channel. Shane A. Hey, Caleb, I'm sure you get this a lot, but I love the old village of your son standing up to his mom, and I hope they're doing well. Thanks. Uh, Man, I just met you. I think you are really. I'm not sure what that means. Fidel castration. Sorry, the names y'all come up with. I was raised by a military father, moving around a whole bunch. It's just mainly moving around a whole bunch to be peaceful and respect authority. But I also learned in the past few years to think for myself and have a little fun every now and then. Good for you. Yeah, go have some fun. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, Caleb, I hope you're doing well. All right, during things, all things that has been going on. I'm just hanging in there like the rest of us, just trying to make sense of this crazy world. Casey Haley, yep, I ain't seen them for 2 years, and my son misses them badly. Every time she says we can, her family gets involved and puts an end to it. My little girl's 7 and cries on the phone and texts me to get her. Yikes. Ugh, I, some of these, I just get so sad reading some of these. I'm not saying don't tell me, but ugh, there's so many problems out there in the world. Why you'd want to compound those problems with hitting your kids is beyond me. Um, when your ex called you weird just because you were into marijuana, because that irritated me as well. Um, who's I, I, I appreciate it, the sentiment. I can't talk about that. But, all right, kids, we're in this an hour and 10 minutes. I've got about a third of a battery life left, and I'm going to call it quits. Hope everybody enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it. It feels so much better getting this off my chest. Thanks to Wicca and Miss Mary, and I didn't see Becca in here today. Becca, if you don't know, is another one of my Whomping Willows, and I appreciate them very, very much. I wish my channel was successful enough that I could actually afford to pay them. At the very least, I wish I could send them something for Christmas. But here lately, my channel, went through that big, big spike, and it's like almost next to nothing right now. So if you haven't subscribed, if you don't mind, smash that subscribe button. If you don't get the notices, some people told me they hit the bell and they're still not getting notices. I don't know what to do about that. But if you like and you enjoy these sorts of things, generally what this has evolved around me doing is I come up with whatever it is I feel like talking about. And so I talk about it for 20 or 30 minutes, and then I'll enjoy talking to people on the side here. And uh, if you haven't caught it and you'd like to, at least hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And if you know people that are struggling with some of the shit that my kids and I were dealing with, if you've watched some of my more popular videos and you think that they could possibly get something out of this, send them the big videos and just, at least for a starter, and say, hey, this guy went through a lot of things that you went through. It's real similar. And he recorded all this stuff and he got huge in some of the videos there. And now his family's grown, but he gets on there and he does these lives and he talks about certain things from, a different perspective. Send them my channel. I would highly, highly appreciate it. Again, this is what I do for a living now. So anyway, again, moderators, thanks so much. Thank you everybody for coming in and listening. I thoroughly enjoyed doing this, and I hope I didn't put everybody to sleep. Y'all take care. Bye. Don't hit your cheer-ins.